Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Youth Baseball Midwest mobile studio. We do appreciate you being with us. It's Saturday. It's Championship Saturday. We got Class 5, Class 6 championship games going today. And it's fun weekend. I have joining me to my right, Randy Merryman, owner, director of the Ozark Mountain Sports Complex, coach, jack of all trades, we'll just call it, everywhere, Marucci Midwest. Randy, you guys have done a fantastic job this week, and I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. You know, we come out here, we've been coming out here since 21, really have enjoyed this venue, and I appreciate your hospitality.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. It's been a lot of work, as you know. I think our staff's been great. A lot of young kids, and never know how that's going to go. With this generation.
A lot of early morning zombies.
Early morning zombies is good. It's been long days, and it's crazy because I don't think we think about it here at the ballpark, but how much rain we've had in Southwest Missouri. Just since this tournament started. We're over 4.5 inches, I think, that we've had, and haven't really missed a beat here.
No, and folks, you haven't seen this. I have. I saw it with my own eyeballs the other day. I think it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday when tons of rain dropped. From the backstop to home plate all the way down, it was a lake. And once the rain stopped, the crew was out there. I think we were back playing in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's right. So, just super happy and fortunate to have these young kids. Most of them are a lot of them play for me collegiately at Mission, and we've got some softball girls, and just some young kids, and to see them take ownership in this event and pride in this event and work their tails off gives me hope for the future.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I love that. So, talk to us about the future. We've been seeing the coming soon. You guys have been working on things to get this going. A lot of things. Next year, you're hoping to see some changes again here. We talked about that in the opening, but folks that haven't seen this, you got big plans right over here, right here where we're sitting. We won't be able to sit here next year, right? That's the goal.
Hey, you might have a better seat than you have right now.
Sweet.
Hey, I haven't shown all the drawings, but there's a nice outdoor kind of party deck, pavilion covered, fire pits, comfy chairs, TVs. It might be the perfect setup for you guys to sit here and watch this.
Oh, now you got me all excited. I'm pumped up. Hey, you know what? It's a great venue to come out here, watch a lot of baseball. Today, we got a couple of dogs going in the championship game. Vianney taking on Platte County. Not going to be an easy road. That Platte County team showed up very well yesterday.
Really impressed with those guys. There's been some teams that I didn't really know a lot about. Chillicothe impressed the heck out of me, the way they played. Platte County looks like that they're not going to be, they're not going to just get steamrolled by Vianney. I've been really impressed. The Blue Springs team was really, really competitive.
Resilient.
Really resilient. I think there's going to be some great championship games today.
Well, and two, facing off, Staley, Earlbeck looked every bit the Iowa commit, the .25 ERA, the number one type pitcher that he is last night. But those two teams have split the season series. So I think it's a coin toss. Pick them.
I think so, too. I think, I was really impressed with that kid. I was actually talking. Iowa's assistant coach was here yesterday, and I was talking to him about him. They were really, really excited about him. He did a great job. But, I'm really intrigued about these two championship games today.
I think they're going to be a lot of fun. We've got some of these kids going here. I'm not quite sure who. We're guessing at this point when you start looking at innings. But you've got for Blue Springs South. There it is. Ashton Nance went yesterday. They got another young man in Wyatt Taylor, 54 innings, a 1.80 ERA. Probably going to see him on the bump here. facing off. Staley's got 3 guys left. Probably going to be Kyle Piercy or Jake Thomas, I would imagine. Jake Thomas could be 42 innings, $132. When you got guys like that on the mound in a championship game, last night was fireworks, Zumwalt West and Staley. That was a 4-1 ball game, one of the cleanest ball games of the week. Just high-level baseball all around. This is what I get pumped up, man.
Yeah, it's been a really good week. There's been some hiccups. There's been some miscues, some walks and errors. But for the most part, it's been really good baseball. It's what you expect for championships.
Absolutely. So we got Mr. Daryl Bradey walking down. I'm gonna excuse you here.
All right.
If you don't mind.
No. Hey, anything I can hand off to Daryl, I am more than happy to do. So I appreciate you guys having us out, and great job this week.
Thank you very much. Randy Merryman, folks, director of the Ozark Mountain Sports Complex. Hey, if you're down here and you want to come see some baseball, come on down. There's going to be a lot of good baseball being played today. Yes. Oh, no hot seats, man. No hot seats. I don't do that stuff. I don't dig it. We got going on to my right, the executive assistant executive director. I always get
I'm not the
wrong.
Executive. No.
Assistant director.
I don't want that.
You don't want that. Assistant director. There
Assistant executive director. Yeah.
There it is. Of baseball for Misha.
Yeah.
Daryl Bradey. Mr. Bradey.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Fantastic.
It's Saturday, right?
Day 6, day 7 of our staff being here. So we're excited. I mean, man. Woke up this morning and looked at the forecast, and I think we could get this in today. You
were feeling good. You were thanking the Lord, weren't you?
Man, I've talked to the Lord several times this week. So
it has been a fun week. Again, I want to say thank you to you and your staff. They've been great. We've enjoyed it again. Another fun week of baseball. We love coming down here and covering this. Talk to us about what you've seen so far, man.
Well, yesterday, some great games. That I'll just start on that. But overall, it's been a great week. It's been challenging, and we've been lucky. And I'm just referring to the weather. We started off the week looking at the forecast, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good when you, given the situation. I believe this is a beautiful facility. The staff has been outstanding. They've treated us really well. So we got here Sunday, not feeling great about the forecast. Monday was really like, all right, we'll get Monday's game in, and then just see what happens. So it kind of started that way, and we've been lucky that most of the big stuff has been overnight. We had to make a schedule change, moving the championship games up, because we really thought Tuesday afternoon we were going to get – it was coming, but it just dodged us. I mean, it was coming, but we made the decision to move those championship games up to try to get those in. They're all a priority.
Absolutely.
They're all a priority, but we need to really crown a champion in those games. But we were lucky that we got all those games in the Class 1 and 2. And then moving into Wednesday, we had a delay to start, I believe. I mean, they're all running together, all the days. But we had a good weather delay. Almost got a game in. We had 2 outs in the first game of day 1 of the Class 3 championship, and ended up, the staff did a great job. I mean, because there was a lot of rain that fell, and we had several puddles, and they got the field ready to go, got those last 2 outs, and you need about 40 minutes to prepare for the next game, infield, outfield, stretch and things like that. Stuff you really can't do in the hitting facility. So there has to be some time we got through. We just lucked out the rest of the day. We got dodged. We really didn't get any rain So we got all those games in, and it's kind of been like that all week. Of course, we had the 2-hour delay yesterday, but really the teams, it was smooth. Games flowed really well. There was some good baseball, and got out of here at 11. But it was 12:50 a.m. When we got out of here, actually Thursday morning. But a lot of people don't know this, but we got to have a quality. As far as when it comes to making decisions on, there's a lot of factors that goes into the decision makings, and that's stuff I've learned over the last 2 years. You got to think about starting pitching too. Do you start a game? Learned that lesson last year. And all right, do you wait? Do you hold on? And so those were some of the decisions that came in, but we were faced with a decision like that on Wednesday.
Yep.
As far as, all right, part of that is if you start one semifinal game, you need to do the other.
Yes, sir.
And I think the alternative was, because we were good around 6:30 when we started that first semifinal in Class 4. We knew it was going to be late night, but the alternative was not playing at all, pushing those games the next day. That wouldn't look good if we weren't playing here Wednesday night. So I think the right decision was made. I hope so.
I think so.
It was a late night, but it just so happened, Rogersville and Sullivan, that was I believe the second longest in MSHSAA history that wasn't rain delayed or suspended play. So it was just a long game.
Hard-fought battle.
Yeah, it was. We needed it to be a short game. It was a long game, and unfortunately, Tolton and their opponent, like I said, it's been a long week. They.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I know. Can we edit this? No.
Oh, we're live. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But they played late into the night, and it was Chillicothe, the state champion.
Chillicothe.
Yes. How can I forget
Sorry,
their run?
Chillicothe. Sorry.
Yes.
I know. Troy Fig.
Great run. They had a great run in the postseason. So outstanding. I apologize to the fans out there in Chillicothe. They had a great tournament, great postseason.
They did. They swung the bats so
well. They did.
Goodness.
Aggressive on the bases. I mean, it was just fun to watch them. Really impressed by that team. So, kudos to them. But kudos to them for playing. Their fans sticking around, and for the most part, just my experience. When the weather's good, people are generally happy, and when it's bad,
I know,
be a little grumpy.
I know. Wednesday, Wednesday and yesterday too. At the beginning, we're trying to keep the tent from flying away.
Right.
And it's tough.
But they were positive. I mean, so
you get through it.
You do, and we're just blessed that we've been able to get all the games in this week. Just with one field and really having a 2-day window to try to manage and get all these games in that window. For the most part, has been really good, really great.
I appreciate all the things you guys do. I don't know. I know, and nobody really. You say these things. From my perspective, there's a lot of people, you just don't know how much goes into an event like this. Logistics, just all the timing and the things that you got to put into it. It's a tough task to keep it organized, to keep it moving, to keep the flow. And then when you have the rain to deal with, it just that little bit of salt in that, man. It's like a wound. You go, ah.
I know, you can't control it. You just try to manage the best that you can and make good decisions.
That's it.
Good decisions to try to get you to the next one. And that's been my mindset, is just trying to, take it day by day, game by game, and be positive for these coaches and these kids, and try to give them the best experience possible,
Real quick, last thing here, Daryl, we've talked quite a bit, and I've always appreciated what you do. I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Moving forward, I know we're coming out of the season. We talked a little bit, about these things. You get yourself reset and start moving. What's up next? What's the thought process for high school baseball, MSHSAA? What are some of the things that we might see? Any changes, any rule things what's going on with baseball?
Well, I'm talking NFHS rules. I know that one-way communication. I know it's one of the proposals to expand that to other positions, mainly the pitching position. I know that we have requests, and our advisory committee meets on Thursday. So our advisory committee, we're going to talk about this. They have submitted a proposal to at least go to an experimental, to request an experimental use for the pitcher communication as well. So that'll be discussed, and also that's also a topic of discussion, a proposal for the NFHS nationally. So it may get implemented before we even have to do that experimentation. So that could be one of the topics that that we may work through next year. So I think that the catcher communication has helped speed things along. Absolutely. Better communication, and so. I think the coaches are in favor of it. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. So that may be coming down the pipe a little bit. So that, and, we'll always have discussions about the best 2 out of 3. Of course, that got expanded to.
I loved it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but positive things. I've heard nothing but positive things. I know the topic of discussion will come up in our advisory committee about adding it to other classes. The rationale behind that, the 5 and 6 did not have a sectional round. Classes 1 through 4 do. And we're going to talk. I'm going to, and whatever they propose, we'll certainly I'll advocate on behalf of baseball. I know that there's some coaches that want it, but there'll be some other coaches that may not want it. Yeah. So it's going to be, and it may take a little more time to kind of see, all right, we got 1 year of it. 7 of 8 teams had a 1 and 2 games. One. But I hear our baseball coaches. I think a lot of they really enjoyed it. They liked the atmosphere. Even the coach. I talked to the Webb City coach Andrew Doning, and then even though he was on the losing end of that, really enjoyed that.
Fantastic.
It was. So and. I think that we'll just continue those discussions and see where we end up. But, I've heard nothing but positive things. So those probably the main 2 things that will be discussed moving forward.
I look at the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I like that. I think the only thing maybe that you could implement, because you do have the sectional and whatnot, maybe just kind of creating some form of round-robin tournament or double elimination within that thought process.
There's, like I said, there's a lot to be discussed. There's
not to put you on spot.
There's
just my brain.
The thing that just playing devil's advocate. There's financial implications. Maybe some of the bigger schools could possibly afford that because there will be some travel. There were hotel stays involved.
Sure.
And we gotta think about our membership and what the financial burdens that would be on our schools. That's something. And as there's a lot of travel, and especially we select our umpires. We select our umpires in April. We have no idea. We just try to get representation from those areas. So we had some officials traveling over 2 hours. We don't really know who's coming out of this. We know that we may have somebody from the Central region and maybe the St. Louis region, but they may be paired up with another. So we try to get representation from there. They may be going across the state. So those officials are actually traveling as well. There's hotel costs. There's a lot of things that people don't really realize that go into this. And once you contract them, they're on that game. So, you just can't back out of that. Right. They're contracted. So we got to obligate those. Or do we go with the system where, all right, the top team or bottom team is scheduled to host next year. We get some from that area. But, what about those teams traveling in that area? They need some representation or some faces they see that are familiar that they've had during the season. So,
I understand that.
So those are just topics of discussion that we need to get ironed out. So,
There's a lot that goes into it. And that's why I think I love the fact I always appreciate that, Daryl. You've been very, very transparent about things.
Yeah.
And, we're talking about high school baseball and kids.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing this, this isn't $20 million contracts.
No, and, this is a big financial, cost
Right.
for our schools even coming to an event like this. And you imagine you can compound those costs when you're talking about then you play weather into it.
Yes, sir.
And I think there needs to be consideration about, I know the season is up until the postseason. It's not that long, honestly.
No.
It's a short season,
Yes.
and they got a 36-game schedule. Do you consider possibly reducing that? And our school's going to be in favor of that. I think
those
some
coaches will, some won't.
Right.
I think you could. I think you could cut back to 32 and create that kind of scenario that you're talking about.
And you don't have to play 36, but
Right.
you don't have to, but as good as I do. You give them 36, they're going to take 36. They're going to try to anyway.
Yeah, you work it
in. Yeah, exactly. So, we'll discuss those things, and I don't know, and we may need a couple years to kind of evaluate how this system is going, and whether or not we choose to do it for others. And then as good as I pitching. There are a lot of schools that may have the pitching, but once we implement something, it's here to stay.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So those are things to consider. You may have some arms right now.
But do you in 3 years?
You may not.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're talking some of the school districts that have less than 100 kids in their whole population. Those
agree.
are things to consider. So we gotta consider a lot.
them. Yeah.
But no, we'll talk some baseball on Thursday with the coaching, with the advisor committee, and see where it ends up.
Folks, Mr. Daryl Bradey, Assistant Executive Director of Baseball.
Thank you.
Folks, there's going to be good baseball. If you're not in the area, MSHSAA.TV, check it out. It's going to be some fun baseball. Go watch. If you're in the area, come on down. There's great food, great atmosphere. Come watch some baseball. It's a Saturday. Why not?
Why not?
I think the sun's going to eventually pop out.
It's starting to. At least it's not raining on us. So hey, we're in good shape.
We're in good shape here.
I think so too.
So I appreciate Mr. Bradey coming down, chatting with us.
Thank you. Appreciate all you do for us. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Absolutely. Folks, we, again, today, we're at the third place game right here. It's a 0-0 score, Falcons and Blue Jays Summit from Rockwood High School. Marshfield Blue Jays taking on the Class 5 championship game. Will follow that. It'll be Vianney, the Golden Griffins, taking on the Pirates of Platte County. I love that. The Pirates of Platte County. That's a fantastic one. And so we're going to that then third place game. Couple of teams familiar with each other. Parkway South taking on Fort Zumwalt West. And in the nightcap championship game, big time stuff going on here. Staley Falcons taking on the Blue Springs South Jaguars. You don't want to miss that. Come on out or watch. As we said, MSHSAA.org. Go to MSHSAA TV. It'll be a lot of fun. Hey, folks, I want to give a big shout out to my crack staff. They've been working and bumping hard all week. Drew and Lauren Klutz keeping all the pictures going, keeping all the equipment up and going, and making me look good here on camera. It's hard to do, I'm telling you. So we appreciate you folks joining us. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the dinger. It's not a home run, but it is notifications for upcoming episodes such as this. We'll be here all day. We'll have some more live look-ins. We'll be talking to players. Check out our X at uppercase YBM _ lowercase cast. And stay up to date what's going on around the ballpark. From Ozark Mountain Sports Complex to MSHSAA State Championships, goodbye for now.